Hello everyone, I'm back. My name is Lainey, and if you don't know, I had ankle surgery, and this is my week 8 update post-op. And I know I skipped a few weeks, but we all know that I can't get my stuff together within a week. So this is just what we're gonna have to do. 2 months post-op, 8 weeks post-op, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. So right after I got my boot, this is probably the hardest week that I had. Not because it was more painful or it was harder to get around or anything like that. It was just very frustrating, and it's just mentally draining because I'm like, oh, I got my cast off, I'm in a walking boot, I should be able to walk and I'll get better, and this is the start of getting back to normal. But it is not that easy when you haven't been walking for 5 weeks and your foot is not all the way stretched back. I know I said it was in the last video, but it wasn't quite, because she had something under my foot when she was doing it. So then whenever she pulled it out, it kind of just slightly went out. So it did hurt a little bit to stretch back to like stand on it, because that really was 90 degrees. And the first 3 days were probably the hardest days that I had, because I was just so frustrated that I wasn't getting better and I wasn't walking, and it was just really hard for me. It was the first part of this journey that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get better. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to cheer or do pole vault, and it was just a really mentally hard week for me. And that is something that you need to be prepared for, because I just thought that I'd get a walking boot and I can walk, and it's not that fast, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get better, because I am getting better. Okay, along with that, so since it was hurting me to stretch my foot flat to stand on so badly the first few days, I really focused on stretching my foot back. Sorry, I'm wearing socks. Back this way, which I didn't go very far. I just went to like 90 or a little bit past, just so it wasn't painful for me to stand. How I did this most effectively, I have my shower chair still. I was sitting on my shower chair and I put my feet flat on the floor and I would just slide them back as far as I could, which wasn't very far, but you know, with the warm water and sitting down and not having weight on it, that helped a lot to get my foot stretched back where it didn't hurt as much to walk. And because I was working so hard to get my foot flexed back, sorry, so it didn't hurt, every time I had my foot relaxed forward, like just hanging there like your foot usually does when you are just sitting around, I would like put my boot under my foot to hold it at 90 degrees, and then it wouldn't get stiff and I wouldn't have to re-stretch it so often. And while this did help for that week and for the next week, I regret doing that. Maybe for the first few days you should do that, but don't do it for an extended period of time, because I didn't get my point flexibility back very fast at all because I did that, because I wasn't letting it like weigh it down and stretch it out. I remember going to the doctor and he was like, usually people can point farther than that by this point, and he was surprised how far I could pull my foot back. So my suggestion is to work on both, and don't worry about how many times you're gonna have to stretch your foot out. It's just, it'll make it easier in the long run, no matter how frustrated you are with doing that, because trust me, I was frustrated. So that was week 6, right as I got my boot. That was like my hardest week mentally, and it was rough, but I still was getting better every day. My flexibility and strength is coming back every day. Just being on my feet, a lot of my muscle came back. So don't lose hope. Don't let that bother you as much as it bothered me. I promise you'll heal, you'll be fine, you'll get there. Don't let it stress you out. Week 7 was a lot better. I was way more hopeful this week. I was feeling better. I wasn't as hopeless as I was the week before because I finally realized that I was getting better every day and it was getting easier every day. And I shouldn't be so hard on myself to heal faster than my body is ready to heal. So I learned to be patient, and that really helped me deal with the mental side of things. Whenever I went to the doctor to get my boot, she was like, don't rush putting your crutches down, like walk with your crutches. When you feel comfortable, walk with one. When you feel comfortable, walk with none. Don't rush it. And the advice that she gave me was amazing. She said, you know you're ready to put down a crutch whenever you're carrying it while you're walking. And I noticed when I was trying to carry things with my 2 crutches, after about the first 4 or 5 days, I started carrying this one to hold stuff in this hand and under this arm. And I was only putting weight on this crutch, the crutch opposite from my foot in the boot, if anyone is curious. So I was like, okay, well, I'm carrying my crutch. I'm ready to put it down. I put down that crutch. And for week 7, I walked with this one crutch basically the whole time. There was a few times when I would carry it, but it was more like, oh, I have to like carry this with both of my hands, and it's a short distance, not because I didn't feel like it was helping me. So I did use that one crutch all week. And then I went to my friend's house at the end of that week. And when I was walking around her house, I just noticed that I was either carrying my crutch as I was walking, or I just wasn't picking it up as much. And that's when I knew that I was ready to go without the crutch. And then I had student orientation for college. And let me tell you, that's a lot of walking. A lot of walking. And I was not prepared. Okay, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be good. I'll have my one crutch, and just for the 2 days, it'll be good. It'll be great. I was wrong. It's a lot more walking than I expected it to be, and I was hurting very bad it was like lunchtime, probably 1 is when I was really hurting bad, and I had to take medicine, and my mom had to go get my knee scooter. It really was a mess. It made everything very inconvenient. And I got so freaked out after that. I'm like, I just destroyed my ankle. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just got my knee scooter. I shouldn't have tried walking around that much. And now I'm not going to get better. And I just ruined everything. And I was like in tears that night because I thought I had just ruined my chances of healing. That's not how healing works, as I have found out. So if you're worried about that, you're not ruining your chances of getting better. Oh, if you walk more than you should, or you just overuse it just for the day, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be sore, it's gonna feel like you're dying, but it goes away. It took about a day, maybe 2 days, and I felt great again. And it went back to getting better and better and better and better. So don't freak out about that either. If you walk more than you know you should be walking, you're gonna hurt. And that doesn't mean there's something wrong or that you messed it up. It just means you shouldn't have walked that much. And someone needed to tell me that because no one told me that. And so I was freaking out for the 2 days that I was in pain. So my biggest advice in this video is don't put expectations on your healing. You're gonna heal as fast as your body heals. You can't control that. It's not anything that you can make go faster. Like, yes, do your exercises, stretch, do strengthening. But if you're doing all that and you're doing your best, don't try and overwork and overuse and overstretch and start hurting every day because you want to get better faster. And I learned that the hard way. Like I always do. We all know. So just don't put expectations on how fast you're going to heal, because you're going to heal as fast as your body is ready to heal. Okay, I did want to mention this. I don't think I mentioned it in the last couple videos because I really just didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I still don't have all my feeling back in my skin after the nerve block. At this point, my physical therapist told me that he thinks it must have caused nerve damage because it shouldn't have lasted that long. And I told my nurse at week 5, and she was like, oh, that's weird. It should be back by now. I guess it'll come back eventually. So I think I just have nerve damage, and that's why it's like a really weird sensation. And along with that, there's this one spot on the other side of my ankle. So I can't feel any of this right here. And there's one spot like right around here that always constantly feels like there's a spider or a bug or water or something like moving, crawling on it. And it is the most annoying thing. I don't know. Please, if anyone else relates to this experience, please let me know. Because I feel like I'm going crazy. And it's just that one spot. And it's part of the spot I can't feel. So is that nerve damage? Is that a symptom of nerve damage? Or am I just like insane? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so my 3rd week of having the boot, I had my first cheer work week. And no, I could not do anything. I was in my boot, and I showed up, and I sat there. I learned the cheers and did what I could, but what I could do was not that much. So thanks to my cheer team for, not hating me, because trust me, I wanted to be doing it with you. But as I said before, don't rush your healing. Your body's going to heal how it wants to. So anyways, I went to cheer practice every day, and while they were practicing, I would sit on the ground or sit in one of the chairs and stretch my foot and do some exercises. I mostly was focusing on pointing because my doctor made me feel self-conscious when he was like, oh, usually people can point farther than that at this point. But I wasn't working on that because I didn't know if I was supposed to or if I was going to hurt myself. But anyways, not the point. So I was mostly working on pointing and on flexing less, but I was working on flexing also. And I was working on putting pressure at different angles. I'm going to try and put in a video of some of my exercises in one of my next videos. Maybe I'll do a whole video on like my progression of exercises that I did so y'all have a reference on what you should be working on, because no one really told me what I should be working on. Just from my past experience with physical therapy and gymnastics, I kind of made my own little thing, but it was working and I was getting better. So for me, it helped. Maybe it'll help someone else. So look out for that video. We're all praying that it comes sooner than my videos usually come, but I'm not making any promises. And that brings me to my next thing. The hardest thing for me is just finding motivation to do my exercises every day. It's just, I can't explain it. It's like, it's uncomfortable, it's painful sometimes, it's not easy, and I just don't have any motivation to get up and do it. But then when I don't, I get so mad at myself, and I'm like, I'm never gonna heal, I'm never gonna get better because I'm not doing it. So I'm just constantly at war inside my own head. If anyone relates to that, let me know. But I try and force myself to do it at least twice a day. Sometimes it's only once, I'm not gonna lie. But the more structure I have in my day, the more likely it is that I'll do it 2 to 3 times. Like if I'm just sitting at home all day and I don't have work and I don't have practice and I don't have anything to go to, I'm probably not gonna get anything done, because that's just how my brain works. I'll probably do something that's not worth my time, and that is completely useless and unnecessary. For example, I made a purse out of some scrap fabric I found, and that's what I did for a whole day when I could have been doing something else that was more productive. Speaking of purse, if y'all want to see tutorials like how to make a purse, how to make a quilt, let me know, because I'd love to film that for you. And I promise it will be way more organized than the dress thing, but I've only made 2 dresses. So I was a mess in that video. I'm not a mess with other things that I've made before. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that someone found it helpful. I tried to keep it shorter and more to the point, and I skipped a few weeks so it's not such repeat of information, because as I have noticed, y'all like my shorter videos because no one wants to hear me talk for that long. But I hope you like this. I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next one.